Ah, well, hello. My name is Gant and welcome back to Lucid9. Okay, I don't remember what happened last. Oh yeah, last episode. We were hanging out with, we were running from Masato. Then we were talking with Mr. Ryota, how we met Masato. Then we hanged out with Akira at her drama club. And then, right now, we got a call from, Shigori, you know, the detective lady. And she told us, be like, you gotta come to school first thing in the morning and bring a group of people. And we're like, aight? And now we continue. Alrighty. When I arrive at the academy the next morning, I find a fairly sizable group of people gathered by the gate. None of them look particularly happy with me. Well, look who actually showed up. Elizabeth's definitely the angriest. I probably shouldn't have pulled the blackmail card to get her here, but at the same time, I need as many people as I can get. You thought I wouldn't? Honestly, no. I was the guy who organized this. Why wouldn't I show up? Once an irresponsible person, always an irresponsible person. Would you like some salt and would you like some pepper with that salt? I'm just telling him how to improve. Sure you are. You haven't said a single constructive thing. Does he deserve it? He doesn't bloody take anything seriously. Has he ever excelled, ever? Is this still about the stupid project from last year? It wasn't stupid. Clearly, you don't have the brains to understand. Hey, lay off her! Guys, can we just... Stay out of this, Yahiko! Look, Elizabeth, I tried to just ignore you. I thought you improved because Yama stopped talking about you. But you're too stubborn to think you might be wrong. You know nothing about me. Stop shutting off your mouth like an ignorant. You come here and say that to me. What the fuck? Yavas need to let loose for your spill condone what you done, eh? For a second, I find myself double checking whether that was indeed Misaki Kazehara who just spoke. Judging from the fact that everyone else just looks just as bewildered as me, the answer is a resounding yes. The commotion immediately comes to a halt. Masato is seemingly the only person who actually registered what Misaki just said. She's right. Ain't no use in us arguing. Well, alright then. Guess that's one way to diffuse an anger, Masato. What makes it a little scary was how easily Misaki could do so. Elizabeth and Ruri turn away in a huff, but they stay silent. I'm not completely sure whether it's out of respect for Misaki, or if they simply don't have the energy to keep arguing. Well, this is getting off to a great start. Oh, this is fucking Shigori. It appears you... Fuck, what was her voice again? It appears you... No, it was Batman, right? Like... It appears you crowed a respectable quantity of potential peons. After all, Ishiyami. And now Shigori's here, which will either fix everything or make matters much worse. I'm betting on the latter. Wait, when did I get her number? Wait, is that... Ari? What are you doing here? You? I elbow him in the ribs to shut up. He seems to understand. She is with me, obviously. I, on the other hand, have my own inquiries. By what means have you acquainted yourself with Ari Hiraga? How do I know her? Same school, remember? And yet, you addressed her with some similitude of fellowship. So do you. How do you know her? I have no obligation to acknowledge queries expelled by a marginally competent plebeian. With this kind of affirmation of my hard efforts? She moves into the group, examining each person from head to toe. They only stare back, unsure how to react. Intriguing. Oh, I see. What are you doing? Shigoro only returns to the center of the group without another word. My name is Shigoro Inomoto. I'm a freelance detective. Ain't you kinda young for that? I am 26 of age. You tendentious imbecile. Legally certified. She flashes her bab at Misato, who only shrugs. You're 26. Yes. Pray keep yourself from any further counterproductive disruptions. After a moment of silence, during which he takes a deep breath with Ari comfortingly patting her back, she seems to regain control. You have been summoned on the account of an extremely important affair, and you might expect I cannot divulge details due to the confidential nature of the case. However, I can tell you the following. We are searching for any information that may be related to the recent disappearance of Academy students. You must be meticulous, you must be witty, you must be adaptable, and above all, you must stay alive. Her words carry unusual dramatic weight. A quick glance around the area confirms my suspicions. Every person is leading towards Shigori, a glimmer of excitement in their eyes. Even Elizabeth seems interested. Heck, I'm looking forward to this. Turns out that Shigori can be inspiring when she really wants to. Investigate all areas of the school until noon, where we all shall reconvene at the garden rooftop to debrief. Leave no stone unturned. The lives of innocent children lie in our hands. 3, 2, 1, break! Everyone in the group tears off into every direction. Only Ari, Rui, and Shigori remains. Rui shuffles close to Shigori with a shy smile. I'm sorry, but would it be okay if I tag along with you? Being a detective just sounds so cool! But, of course, only if it's okay with you and Ari. I noticed Shigori's chest puffs up slightly, like a proud veteran, aiming to impress the newbies. Rui probably scored extra points by including Ari. Well, if you insist. Ari? Ari glances from Rui to Shigori and back, the edge of her brows furrowing slightly. Shigori, noting her hesitation, tries a comforting smile. Remember. Ari stares vacantly at Shigori for a long moment, then nods, the corner of her lips rising just slightly. Oh, look at her, she's adorable. How could people bully that? Come on. It's settled. What's your name? I'm Rui Hayata. We must depart at once, Rui. Enlightenment awaits. And she promptly dashes away, Rui on her heels, Ari briefly glancing in my direction as she follows them out. I spend an idle moment, relishing the fresh air against my face and the glorious serenity of silence. Then, I'm straighten my shoulders and evaluate my surroundings, ready to start my investigation. Ooh. Dude, okay. Where should we go? Let's see. I could start at the entrance, because that's kind of easy, but what if I only get one opportunity for this? Let's see. The courtyard. I'm gonna go with the courtyard, because a lot of kids hang out there, and probably you'll find something that's relating to the missing people. Like either friends of their friends, or whatever, you know what I mean? The courtyard is usually a right place for gossip. Maybe I can glean some from there. I find a first-year student and a third-year class. I find a first-year class and a third-year class in the midst of some outdoor session. The first years seem to be in PE. They are paired off, standing on opposite sides of a banishment net. The third year seems to be in art, judging from the easels before them. Interesting enough, Elizabeth is here, pleasantly chatting with an adoring first year. Honestly, I'm surprised that she took so well to being ordered around by Shigori. Maybe she's just sucking up because Shigori is part of law enforcement. I see. Thank you for your help. No problem, Elizabeth. Oh, it's a girl. She races back to her friends by the banishment nets, gathering excitedly that Elizabeth Oshiro just spoke to her. I'm about to stride over, but another familiar girl slides next to her with a smile. Natsuki Tanaka, the mystery with a mystery. Dude, what if she's the killer? This whole time I've been the killer. Nah, I'm just kidding. But it'll be kind of cool. Just do like my normal girl voice, like da 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 to well, hello there. Why? What might you be doing here, Beth? Hey, Nasuki? Or charcoal fingers? You know how it goes. Really though, why aren't you in class? It isn't like you to skip. I'm not skipping. This is for work. Work? A different work. For my father's of sorts. Her father? Why her father? Then again, I can understand why she wouldn't want to mention Shigori. Your father? Sounds important. Actually, you're good with information. Can you tell me anything about the recent disappearances? The recent disappearances? On the news? Oh, those disappearances. She says this airily, as if disappearances are simply an everyday event in Isamu. Elizabeth doesn't even seem fazed. Let's ask around, shall we? Thanks, Natsuki. The two girls split off. Natsuki settles in front of her easel, but strikes a conversation with her neighbor. Elizabeth continues to pull aside first years from the banishment court. I really shouldn't tease her, but the opportunity is just too tempting. I slide around the edge of the court until I'm right behind Elizabeth. The news showed it today. Oh yeah, I remember. Crouch down, lean over, and... Teacups and crumpets. Tea and crumpets. Bloody hell! I sneer as a chain of expletive pours from Elizabeth's mouth. She rolls around, daggers in her eyes. What on this bloody planet are you trying to pull, you gormless grit? There's her British side, strong as I've ever seen it. I must have made her really mad this time. I can only grin as I speak in an exaggerated drawl. Would you like some tea and crumpets? How about some fish and chips? You're... Hold on. You're just so... handsome, charming, brilliant. Delusional. I can almost appreciate that. Well played, Elizabeth Oshiro. Whoa. It's only then, when we remembered that we had an audience, Elizabeth managed to set her face back into a smile for our gaping first years. What? I didn't know you guys were dating? A thrill of indignation races through me, and I immediately release Elizabeth, who was attempting to speak past incoherent splutters. Wait, Art? I'd never date her. Not that you would ever get the chance. Not that I ever want the chance. Well, that makes the both of us. The first years giggle, stopping us in our tracks. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, sorry. It's just your bickering is so cute. Kinda reminds me of Mom and Dad. Strangely enough, Elizabeth's face suddenly burst into color. I only find myself thinking, I'm worried for your parents. Are they fighting? Are they getting a divorce or something? Oh my god, look how cute she is. Yeah, ever since she played fucking Ace Academy, I think you're getting into Sundari's. A little bit, but she has the purple hair, darn. She's really smart. Sorry, I gotta get back to class, but it was nice talking with you, Elizabeth. The first year skips into the banishment court, leaving a very angry Elizabeth with me. I hope you're proud of yourself. You just wasted time at the expense of human lives. Gee, that's morbid. This is a serious investigation, Yama. We might get a lead on a kidnapper. Kidnapper? Never mind. She storms off, containing rage emanating from her, and the freshman inches away uncomfortably. I've been dismissed and felt the guilt wash over me. I just don't understand why she takes everything so seriously. The courtyard is ripe for gossip, but for solid leads? Not a great plan. Well, whatever. I should just keep my mind on the case. Well, to be honest, I didn't think class was starting, like, when I suggested the courtyard. Well, I didn't think this was like a PE class. Like, courtyard, I'm thinking like like the, where you guys are walking, like the entrance, but like where everyone walks through, like, to get to their buildings and shit. Like, that's what I think of a courtyard. And I was thinking, like, maybe there's people here gossiping, maybe talking, like, you know what I mean? Like, chit-chatting. I didn't know there was a class and people, you know what I mean? After a look around, I spotted third year at the fringes of the courtyard, quietly examining a squirrel in a nearby tree. Quiet, observant, in the sidelines. Seems like a good person to talk to. I make my way to her, slowly, so I don't startle her. She looks up at me with a cordial smile. Hello. Hey, sorry this sounds strange, but do I look familiar? She looks up at me through her lashes, batting them subtly. Wait, did I say that? Oh, no, she said that. Oh, no, I've got a question. You're handsome. I'm beginning to see why this girl is kind of separated. Look, do you know if there's been anything strange going on school? Fuck. Look, do you know if there's anything strange going around the school recently? Are you a Serbian spy? Pardon? People who just ask those sort of questions are often spies, and Serbia's been looking in conquering Japan recently. I might say that Siberia. And Siberia's been looking into conquering Japan recently. Wouldn't that be China? Why would Russia want anything to do with Japan? Well, then when I think about it, World War II, technically they're still at war with each other. Technically, it's on paper. Like, they never signed a peace treaty, I heard. If I read that right, I'm not too sure. Don't quote me. Never quote me. Never read about these shits. I'm struck speechless by this airy statement. After a few moments of blank staring, she returns to her sketches. Having a bit of trouble there, Yama? Nasuki suddenly pops up right next to me, a cat-like smile spreading across her face. Not really. I probably should have chosen someone else to talk to, though. By any chance, do you happen to be investigating the same thing as Beth? What makes you think that? You are you not? Maybe I am. Shall I lend you a helping hand? Don't overexert yourself. What would life be without a little bit of overexerting? Leaving me with this thought, she turns to the girl, smiling slightly. Have you watched the news as of late? Don't really watch the news. Nobody has time for television. Oh, but you know what's behind the disappearance, do you not? Unless that bit of your art on the easel is simply a Rorschach test. I glanced at the easel before. I thought it was just a bunch of splatter and gripe, but when I looked closer, it seems to resemble blood, mixed with flesh and shards of bone. The sight of it almost makes my mind hazy, but I'm able to keep a grip on myself. I watch the news a lot. Here, They play it in the hallway sometimes, or in the dorm lounges. Isn't it? It is obvious. There's a terrible hand behind these disappearances. Oh? There are 3 disappearances. Each took place after curfew. They logged in for curfew, but then left like Atlantis. That doesn't make any... Patience, Yama. She's not quite finished. The student stares blankly at her canvas before continuing. Minori Minano. She was the first. The president. She disappears 8 days ago, before the beginning of prison. Prison? She's referring, of course, to school. Right. I'm growing to like this girl, as odd as she is. Torama Hayashi, he was the next. Energetic, with the spirit of Loki. He disappeared on the first day of school, 5 days ago. The last, Akane Sekuno, she disappeared 2 days ago. Akane? The name sounds vaguely familiar. So, whatever do you find odd about these vanishings? It appears to, at the very least, perturb your canvas. The student blinks longingly before she responds. The curfew. They all logged in for curfew. I frowned for a moment, running some quick calculations. The academy curfew is at 11:30 p.m. By that time, students have to log themselves from their dorm rooms to verify their presence. So, if I get what this girl is saying, they listed as present for curfew, but somehow, while everyone was sleeping, they disappeared? How is that possible with the current system, the current security parameters around the academy? The student sets down her pencil. Shadows follow you wherever you go. They have large shadows indeed. And now she's back to making no sense. I don't understand what you're... Most interesting. Thank you for your cooperation. I raise an eyebrow to Natsuki, but she only shakes her head minutely. The student is looking rather wistful at her canvas. It might be best to leave her alone. Thank you for the info. Do not betray this country, Serbian spy. She turns back to the canvas as Natsuki and I step away, leaving her in peace. Well, Yama, you can take that however you may. Thanks. Anything for dear Beth. Now that I think about it, the fact that Natsuki wrung that information so easily is chilling. Oh, it seems Beth is having a bit of a trying time. I follow her gaze to the edge of the badminton court, where Elizabeth is clearly trying to rein in her temper against an impudent first year. Heh, doesn't surprise me. She doesn't seem to be able to deal with people who aren't falling all over her shoes. Oh, May. Oh, my. Shall we save Beth? Before I can respond, Natsuki cups her hands around my mouth and calls out, Oh, Beth! Elizabeth storms over in a tight coil and barely contains frustration. Her mouth pulls into a thin smile. Yes, Natsuki? Haven't much luck, I gather? Elizabeth only shoots a piercing glare at me. What are you still doing here? Well, here we go again. To pay my respects to the Queen of England. She closes her eyes, slowly kneeling at her temple with the tips of her finger. Your queen commands an audience. Go away. But I really rather not. You see, I'm in a mood for some tea. What does tea have anything to do with me? Well, you know, serving tea, serving coffee. When I said this, her eyes widen and she immediately kicks at my shins. It stings much more violently than I thought it would. What are you doing? Biting my kneecaps? You just don't know when to stop, do you? Oh, Beth, It's a little joke. Lighten up. I'm honestly surprised that she's taking my side, considering that she's Beth's friend, Elizabeth's friend. Then again, she doesn't seem like a typical friend. Well, I got some more important things to do than stand around bickering with Yama, so bye. Then a good day to you, madam. Give my regards to the king, if you ever find one. She wrists around and strides off without a word. Looks like I won this round. Oh, Beth, ever upset? Even though Natsuki's words seem sympathetic, there's a ting of amusement to her tone. It's disconcerting. Mrs. Tanaka, back to your ESO, please. Well, I best be off to class. Good luck on your little goose chase, Yama. She winks as if looking for clues on Shiro vanishing is equivalent to looking for a lost eraser, and disappears behind her easel. I glance at my phone. Looks like it's already time to meet at the roof. You see? Good thing I chose the fucking courtyard. You see? If I would have chosen all the other ones, it would have been like, something boring. Within a few minutes, everyone gathered on the rooftop. I take stock on the unfortunates. Rui, Shigori, and Ari seems disappointed. Yahiko and Elizabeth seems tired. Masaki and Akira seems to be unchanged, and Masato looks like he's on the brink of death. Despite the idiocy of bureaucracy, it appears that a crucial piece of information did surface. That the students all disappear even after curfew? Yes. You may elaborate further, Ishiyami. I glance around, but no one else seems willing to talk, not even Rui, who was excited to play detective. Well, basically, each of the students logged in for the 11 p.m. curfew in their rooms. By all intents and purposes, that should have rendered them safe. Even if they're allowed to leave the dorm building, they have to stay on campus, and it's not like anyone else can get in with that security parameter around the building. So, we have something strange on our hands, since they disappeared when they shouldn't be able to. Well, as I decide on our next course of action, I recommend that each of you obtain your own desired nourishments. Dismiss. She plops down on a nearby bench, digging into her satchel. Ari settles next to her, pulling a peach out of her backpack. The others take various places on the rooftop's greenhouse, retrieving lunchboxes from their bags. I notice Yahiko slides into the bench next to Misaki. Elizabeth sits on the sits opposite of Shigori alone. Akira whips out a net fucking shit. A net Deanna Helson does 14. What the fuck, her fucking blanket, and lays her on the floor. When Rui and Masato attempt to sit on her, Akira gestures frantically at Rui. Oh! Yeah! Rui quickly makes her way to me, extending a lunchbox with two hands. Hey, you didn't bring any food, right? I made extra. You can have it if you want. You made enough food to fill another lunchbox? I accidentally made a lot more than I expected, okay? Just take it. I can only stare at the lunchbox. My mind races ahead of me. Should I? I'd rather not hurt her feelings, but isn't accepting a homemade food from someone synonymous with accepting their feelings? I glance at Akira for help, but she pointedly looks away from us. Maybe she wants to give us some privacy. Take it before my arms fall, idiot! That's the break for me. I'm comfortable enough to accept the lunchbox. Thanks. No problem. She suddenly dashes back to Annette Deanna Helson 14, leaving me alone with the lunchbox. I glance inside. Delicious eggs are neatly rolled and topped with seaweed, set in an authentic bouquet beside a bed of rice. The rice is shaped into a lantern decorated with lettuce, carrots, and cucumbers. It looks unbelievably delicious, but just when I'm about to dig in, some commotion catches my attention. So, what is it like being in Lotus Modeling? Do you live an extravagant life with servants who wait on your beck and call? I wouldn't say it's extravagant, but it's fun. You get to meet so many new people, visit so many new places, try so many new things. It's a great experience. Although, it can be very demanding sometimes. Demanding? How? It's a competitive business, so it requires a lot of commitment. That's why I'm usually absent from class. And the school allows that? Surprisingly, my grades aren't being affected, so I suppose they don't see it as a problem. Do you think Lotus will have an opening for the great Yahiko Ikari? I highly doubt that his grades would allow him to work as a model. You are handsome, so I don't see why. Did she just call Yahiko handsome? I admit, he's not bad looking, but I didn't expect her to be so blunt about it. Yeah, you're right. Of course they wouldn't deny me my impeccable charms. What's your number? I'll be sure to text you when I find something. I can only shake my head incredulously as they begin sharing contact info. I dig into my free lunch, relishing the explosion of flavor in my mouth. Really improved at cooking. As I eat, I continue to examine my surroundings. The next group that catches my attention is Ari and Shigori. Water. Great living water. Ari is quietly munching on a peach in her standard baby hamster fashion. Shigori, meanwhile, has propped her feet up on a flower bed like a gangsta. She appears to be eating some kind of sweet green dumpling. Shigori? Yes? Is that enough? What, this? She gestures to the green ball in her hand. Ari nods. More than enough. They're melon paste mochis, the roof of immortality. What? There are no vegetables, no fruit, no protein. Well, yes, but it's not nutritious. Eat some vegetables. If you insist, Ari. What the fuck? Is she like your mom or something? This little girl. She's younger than you and she's like your mom. Ari shares a rare smile at this. I'm surprised by how open she is around Shigori. It makes me wonder how they know each other. Not only that, but Shigori actually listens to Ari. It seems like Ari's the only one who can put her in her place. Galloping goats! You don't mean to say? I do indeed. He is gone by now, far behind the city limits, and out of your scheming hands. There goes those two again. You misunderstand the meaning of obstinate, my dear lady Bingham. I'm gonna say Bingham. That sounds cool. Ha! As if you could be true love. Oh no, I happen to know that your lover is hiding. Right here. She whips her fingers around in my direction, but thankfully, Masato suddenly steps in front. Huh? Me? Jumping jackals! I always thought that sort of thing only happens in dramas. That's a proper destiny-like moment, isn't it, Rui? Masato? My true love? Yeah, I don't think so. Masato seems to take this as a challenge. Every muscle tightens with competition aggression as he steps between Rui and Akira, brandishing an imaginary sword. Come on and fight me, big coward! Yeah, I'm here! I'll challenge you to a duel to the death! No! Duel to the pain! I smell disaster afoot. The hell's a duel to the pain? First, your feet are cut off below the ankles, and then your hands at the wrist, and then your eyes, and then your tongue. But that's only if I lose, right? Easy, now fight me, you crooked canary. On second thoughts, peace. You can't be with your true love. She flees away from the scene, taking cover behind Shigori. What are you doing? I'm hiding by the Alps. You're the Alps. Go away, I am not the Alps. That's what the Alps always say. Leave. In an unusual burst of energy, she reaches out and shoves Akira to the ground. Ooh. Why are you abusing minors, Shigori? Everything happens at once. Ooh. Okay, let me set up for this. I'm ready. Ruri rushes to Akira, worried, checking for her injury. Elizabeth and Misaki immediately gets to their feet. Yaigo freezes, while Masato sprints at Shigori. The hell was that about? I'm thinking. Don't disturb me when I'm thinking. You didn't have to shove her. She wouldn't have left otherwise. How do you know that, eh? I took the moment to analyze all of you when I first met you, if you recall. You can't know someone by one look. You can if you possess at least one functional hemisphere of a brain. Don't talk like that, Shigori! Hey, guys, I'm fine. Let's just calm down. This does nothing to stop the rising tension. Even I can't help but feel amped up. It's one thing for Shigori to insult me, and another thing for her to insult one of my friends. Even if I insult him all the time, yeah, I'm a hypocrite, I know. Just let me be. I need to think. Ain't you gonna say you're sorry? I won't say I'm sorry for something I have no reason to be sorry for. Akira didn't even do anything to you. She had no awareness of her comfort of others. She completely disregarded Ari's feelings on the matter. Everyone's eyes land on Ari, who stares blankly at her peach. Come to think of it, Akira would have been right next to Ari. I didn't mean to make anyone uncomfortable. I thought you guys were lonely. Just because you may be lonely in an identical situation does not give you the right to push your opinions on other people. Yes, but I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of rude, Shigori. Don't get me wrong, you're trying to protect Ari right here, right? But you can't just fucking bam hit people, you know? You gotta be nice. Say, hey, he doesn't like it. Just back off. And if they don't back off, then bam! Then you can hit them. You just don't hit people right away. That's not cool. I'm sorry. You didn't do nothing wrong, Akira. Stop this, Shigori. On the contrary, you two were the ones horsing around, dragging everyone into your uncomfortable scenarios. Hey, ain't you the one making us investigate for you? I did nothing of the sorts. Ishiyami was your requester. That ain't no excuse. Stop being so single-minded and think for once. All of you can do is band together like sheep. Why don't you approach this from Ari's perception? Everyone once again looks to Ari, who stopped munching on her peach. Well, you just put her on the spot, which would make her uncomfortable. Don't speak as if you know more than I. Maybe you're just a stubborn one, huh? This is degenerating fast. What's surprising is that Elizabeth and Misaki aren't making a move. They're just sitting back, watching this display before them without emotion. Clearly, they value Shigori too highly to fight back, which means I have to do it. Rui, you may be saying this because you're still learning, but in the world of detectives, No. What you did was unnecessary, Shigori. Please don't tell me this is real life. Don't lecture me about what real life is or is not. Shut up, all of you! Amazingly, they actually quiet down. Akira, you okay? We're right in range, chap. There's a slight tremble into her voice, but I ignore it. No need to stir up any more trouble. Fuck, man, I yelled so hard. Oh, man. Good. Shigori, don't shove people. If she was making Ari uncomfortable... Ari? Were you uncomfortable? A tense moment of silence falls on the group. Ari only shrugs inconclusively. Okay, whatever. Akira, don't get too close to her again. Shigori, don't shove Fuck. Okay, whatever. Akira, don't get close again. Shigori, don't shove Akari again. Okay? Solved. But that's not fair to... Solved. That's it. Understood? Thankfully, she nods sullenly. Shigori only straightens her glasses, but I'm pretty sure that she also behaves herself. But I'm pretty sure she'll also behave herself. Presently, I notice that Elizabeth and Misaki are looking at me with a ting of respect. Well, at least someone's pleased with me. Guys, why don't we cool off a bit? Let's do something fun. No one seems to react, but somehow, I can tell they're all interested. Fighting has a way to suck you dry. Sucking you dry. Oh, no, I mean like, taking your soul out, like, the guy from fucking Mortal Kombat, the guy who takes your soul. Remember the Mortal Kombat movie? Your soul is mine. Fuck, who was that character? Shang Tsung. Don't think anything dirty. I forbid it. Maybe it would be better to redirect everyone's energy to something else. Something where, if they end up fighting, at least they wouldn't cause permanent emotional or physical scars. What do you suggest? Watching a movie? I suddenly shake my head. We never get enough people to agree on the same movie. How about an amusement park? An amusement park? Yeah. There's that new high-tech one by the mall. You know, with the new Landshore attraction? I vaguely recall seeing something like that on the news. Lemmiskrik, the mega corporation of all things technical and media related, partnering with a handful of large amusement parks all over the country. Apparently, they were going to revolutionize entertainment. Ooh, those looked amazing. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm in. Elizabeth only shakes her head. As remarkable as it sounds, I must pass. I have other duties to attend to. I considered this for a moment. Should I let her go? She did try her best in the investigation, but the images of squealing Elizabeth on top of a roller coaster is just too good to pass up. Elizabeth, do you know anything about coffee? Her face pales and she quickly glances around the others. When they only return looks of confusion, she storms over to me, angrily hissing in my ear. Stop that! Then come with us. Give me one reason. Because you don't want anyone to find out about your job. Give me another reason. Because you'll be alone if you stay here, and that's kind of sad to me. The thought comes before. I can't stop it. I quickly wave it away so it won't take root. The last thing I need right now is to sympathize with Elizabeth. Because I'm so dashing. That isn't a good reason. You asked for a reason. That does necessarily merit a good one. That doesn't necessarily merit a good one. Blimey. I simply can't believe you. She steps back, raising her voice so everyone can hear. Fine, but who's paying? I look to Shigori. Everyone follows suit. For a second, the detective stares back at us, uncomprehending. Then she leaps to her feet, face coloring in anger. No, absolutely not. Why? I harbor no incentive in separating an ordinary extensive fuck, man. Why does he have to be so like, I have big words? Okay, let me read this as slowly as I can. I harbor no incentive in chaperoning an inordinately extensive conglomerate of cognitively impaired juveniles to a venue whose solitary objective is the frivolous squandering of time. The insults only fuel me to think harder. The amusement park wouldn't be cheap. We need Shigoro to pay for us. The question is, what would make her? Oh, of course. If it has anything to do with the case, Shigoro will be there in a blink of an eye. Well, I wasn't gonna mention this because it seems trivial at the time, but there was a minor lead from today. And you did not think to tell me sooner? Like I said, it felt too trivial for me to mention. Honestly, I don't really want to go to the park, but I feel like it might give us some important information. Well, what was the lead? Ad-libbing in front of a teacher is one thing, but ad-libbing in front of Shigori is a different matter entirely. I struggled to work past my sluggish brain for the answer. Well, there were some claims that the Yakuza might own the amusement park. It might give us a clue on how the students are able to leave the campus after curfew. Wait, there's no reason for the Yakuza to be affiliated with the disappearances? Well, that would tie two controversial pieces of evidence from last week. Is he serious? Ari, amusement park? I shouldn't go. Remember. Surprisingly, Ari's silence only seems to strengthen Shigori's resolve. Don't think of it in such a manner. Well, very well, Ishiyami. Let us depart. Really? And you're paying for everyone? Oh yes, with your future wages. I'm not even getting paid. Hey, what's going up on here? Oh, it's Mr. Ryota. As if there wasn't a party enough, Mr. Ryota arrives on the scene, brandishing a ruler in his right hand. He stops short upon seeing our little group. Yama? Hey, Mr. Ryota. Why isn't it the J-Man? Why, if it isn't the J-Man? Sup, Mr. Ryota? Hey, gents, ladies. What the hell's going up on here? The third floor offices swore up and down that someone was getting murdered. I recalled the decibel level of the recent argument and felt slightly guilty. Were we that loud? Loud enough that I'm supposed to give a disturbance warning, apparently. He brandished a pile of detention notes threateningly. Everyone stiffens, except Shigoro and me. Probably a bad sign. Oh, please, Mr. Ryota. Whatever could be wrong, Miss Oshiro? And, with a total lack of elegance, he flings the slips of paper over the banistment of the roof. They rain down in shreds of flapping pink to the school pool below. Listen, kids. You totally weren't here. The officers were totally just hallucinating, and I totally did not just toss those detention slips into the pool. Relief pops up on everyone's faces. Trust Mr. Ryota to be the rebel. Now scram before they fire me, yeah? We don't need any further encouragement. We rush away from the rooftop greenhouse and down the stairs. Thankfully, the walk to the amusement park is uneventful. No one seems to notice when we pass by 6 police cars in the space of a half an hour. Alright, I'm gonna end it here. That was really fun. That was really fun, even though I fucked up a little bit on the reading. But thank you for just watching this, just having fun. It's a yay. I don't know how to express it, but thank you. And also thank you that I have 30 subscribers, man. I love milestones like this where it's like I'm on 30 right now, then next time will be 40, then 50, then we'll go up all the way to, what is it, million, whatever the fuck PewDiePie has. Probably not, but you know what, it could be fun. Anyway, like I said, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and leave a comment. Just comment anything. I really don't care. I'll probably look at it, and I'll be like, should I respond to it or not? And like, if it's actually like, maybe you're like, want to tell me like, oh, this game was created by this guy. They made this game and this game. You should totally check it out. Like after you're done with this one. And I'll be like, you know what? Yeah. Oh, or maybe play like a Halloween game. I'm thinking on the 31st, I could just sit back and like we'll play like some horror games. I don't know which one yet, but we'll figure it out. Alrighty. This is farewell. And as always, bye bye.